I could actually win UCL Fantasy this year. Am I going to do it? Probably fucking not. But am I going to try? Abso-fucking-lutely. Now, as you can see right here, I sit in a chair. But in this chair, I stare at the screen and I can see I am 268th in the world. I have no idea how that's happened, but, you know, let's pretend I actually know what I'm doing for once. And, well, hey. Somehow, though, I went down in Wales. So 2 people in Wales, somehow above me in the overall world, and then went above me, even though I went up in the overall world. Brain not braining, my 2 brain cells fried. But anyway, my team did pretty well last week. You know, even though players like Kane are not great this week, last week scored all the goals. I nailed the captaincy there. I mean, to be fair, Mbappe did score the same amount of points and on the same day. I was a bit wibbly-wobbly with that one, but it worked out well. And we even had players like Maitson get a big old 9-pointer in there as well. So actually, it was pretty damn good. But now we move on to the most challenging part of the Champions League Fantasy, where we have the big boy games upcoming. We're right here on the Tuesday, tomorrow for me, so probably today for you, or whenever it is, really. We have Arsenal versus Bayern Munchen and Real Madrid Man City. Not only that, the winner of them will play each other. So even if Arsenal smash Bayern Munich and Man City smash Real Madrid, they then have to play each other. So that is something we definitely need to keep in mind with our team and our transfers. But then on the other side, we have Atletico Dortmund, which on paper are the 2 worst teams. Still not bad, right? And PSG Barca, which God knows what PSG or what Barca turn up in there in those games. So that's just whatever, really, innit? But out of these games, the favourite took... these are the odds to actually go through, not just to win this one game. But you could also look at, like, even though... You can look at it 2 ways, right? You can either look at just the game for this week. Like, Arsenal are probably very good favourites this week because they're at home. And then, you know, they could win 2-0. And then next week, they're not really trying to score goals. And all of a sudden, their attackers are not good, even though they're still favourites to go through, right? So, you got to keep that in mind. But these are the odds for the team to go through. Because I think right now, with our teams, the main thing we should look at is how we can use our transfers to get in players that could potentially at least go to the next round and then use our transfers there. You don't necessarily have to just think about the final. I think just the next round, one at a time, is good enough because we got enough transfers. So yeah, Arsenal are pretty damn good favourites to go through. So definitely those are the good ones to go for. And the fact they're at home first is also a good sign, because if they lose that game, then you're like, maybe I can get out some of their players already. And then if they go and smash that game, you're like, sound, I got all the points already, and they're probably through. Man City Real Madrid, on the other hand, is the complete opposite. So that's a bit of an unlucky. They are the favourites to go through, and actually the favourites to go through out of all of the teams, and the favourite to win the entire Champions League, but they do have the hardest game right now of Real Madrid away, which is why they have, well, I was going to say one of the worst odds for this game, but you can't even see it right now. But yeah, they do. And then on the other hand, Atletico Dortmund. Somehow, Atletico are way more favourites than Dortmund. And I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, I'm just a lonely geezer that just doesn't know anything, right? And, you know, these betting companies literally put their life and soul on the line to make sure they earn money. So maybe you shouldn't bet against them. But I reckon Dortmund have a chance there. And then not only that, because it's a PSG Barca, which on paper aren't as good as an Arsenal, Man City, even a Real Madrid Bayern right now. I mean, even if Bayern was on that side, I'd say, like, even with how wibbly-wobbly they've been doing, they still have a chance of going through there, right? PSG Barca, yeah, against each other, it's probably actually quite good for the fantasy, because there's just going to be points everywhere. But either of them could go through, and then you wouldn't even be fully confident that whatever one does go through does beat the winner of the one who goes through that. So essentially, what I'm saying is, teams could win, teams could get knocked out. Amazing insight, right? Don't get info like this anywhere else, right? But yeah, although you can look at I think you should focus on the fixtures for this game week, this match day, even if it is just the first leg, and then look at the second leg after, because we do have transfers there. Well, I'll go to that and show you now. But also, yeah, do keep in mind, you know, Man City, Arsenal, maybe Real Madrid, if they manage to beat Man City, are the favourites. So maybe don't transfer those players out, even though they do have bad fixtures. It's annoying because this top half of the whatever they call it, is much better than the bottom half, which is probably a good thing for fantasy because it means there's no obvious team. So maybe it's good to push up some rank or get some good differential points, but also it could be a big boy unlucky, whatever way it goes. What could also be an unlucky is that some players are 1 yellow card away from suspension. Now, some players are also suspended for this week already. I have Hakimi, and as you see later, he is suspended for this game. So even though I have him and he's not knocked out, he's not playing in the first leg. So you might as well chop off his leg because he's useless to me. But there are some other players here on this big boy list that if they get a yellow card in the first leg, then they're out for the second leg. Now, I don't even know if they get wiped after that, but I'm only looking at that because if they are 1 away and you don't already have them, probably best not to get them in, especially if they're a defender, right? So Atletico Madrid actually have, well, the second most. What's up with all these Spanish teams getting all these yellow card merchants out there? But yeah, I mean, do you even want any of them? Probably not, but, you know, it's a good idea to stay away from them. Arsenal's an interesting one because Kai Havertz has been King Kai, literally best goal scorer in the world, never mind in the Premier League right now. And then Declan Rice, both very good fantasy assets, and they could still haul, right? Just because they could get suspended. Havertz could go and score a brace and then get a yellow card, but it's like, oh well, I've got all of his points. Thank you. So, you know, that it's not saying to completely avoid them, but just keep it in mind. Barca have quite a few players. I think some of these are injured, though, so you're probably okay there. And also it's Barca, so I don't know about that. Bayern, I mean, yeah, we'll just skip them. Dortmund, this is a big boy one, because not only does this mean he's going to completely change Hummels' game, who is literally the spine of that defence, right, for Dortmund. If he does get suspended, then they're a bit fruit in the second leg, even though they will be at home in the second leg. It's going to be an ODR. But is he going to manage a full game against Atletico Madrid away and not get a yellow card? I don't know about that one. So if I didn't have him, which I don't, I probably wouldn't look at him. But it is annoying because he's also like an amazing Champions League fantasy point scorer because he gets all of the recoveries. But unfortunately, if he does get suspended, I don't think he'll recover from that. Ruben Dias, I mean, fraud merchant. He's on fraud watch. He's not a great defender. I don't care what anybody says. So don't get him. PSG, yeah, they got a few players. And Real Madrid. Now, this one's a very interesting one because, yes, they're at home against City. But if a Bellingham and a Vinicius do get suspended, suddenly they're away, they're like a goal down already or something, and you're like, oh dear, there's no chance of them going through. So I would be worried about them, and I mean, everybody has Bellingham in their team, right? But what else we also can do with our teams is the transfers. So these are all the transfers for per match day and all that jazz. So we are right here. Oh, you can't see my mouse. No, we're not all the way there. I can't select just that one. Oh, you can see my mouse. Before the quarterfinals, which we are right now, we get 5 transfers. But that's just before the first leg. And then before the second leg, we get 3. So now that gives us 2 little mini strategies we can do. We can either fully focus on the first leg and then use 3 transfers to get in a player from the other team just to have a home advantage in both games. Or you can probably do the wise decision of those 3 transfers, pretend they don't exist, social distance away from them. And then if and when players do get suspended, injured, or their team looks like, you know, they've lost 4-0 in the first leg, they're definitely not going to go through to the next round. Then use those transfers then to prepare you for the semi-finals. So, with that being said, I think the 5 transfers, you shouldn't just look at who's home the first leg and who's home the second leg and focus one or the other. You could, but for most of your team and most people, you probably don't have the luxury of doing that because, as you see right now, I basically need to use my 5 transfers, so that goes that plan out the window. But if you're in a different position, you're in a different position, aren't you? I bet your position isn't as good as 200th in the world, though, so I'm just saying. All right, I'm flexing because I'm never going to get to this high again, so let me enjoy it, okay? So, with all of that being said, my team currently looks like, ooh-ay. Well, it currently looks like this, but it will change. So, let's have a little recap. Arsenal, Bayern. Now, Arsenal, heavy favourites. I think they will go through. And I also have 3 Arsenal players and 1 Bayern player. So that obviously means Arsenal are going to win, right? Because I can't be getting all my players knocked out. Real Madrid, Man City, very tough fixture. Whatever one out of them wins could go all the way and win the Champions League, which is very annoying for fantasy because right now I have a 4 Man City. If they get knocked out, then I'm a little bit wibbly wobbly. They're very big unlucky for the next round, don't I? If they go through, then there you go. I'm ahead of everybody else. So that one, yeah, dodgy. The only good thing about that is, although I got 4 Man City players, one of them is an injury doubt and one of them is an injury. So it's definitely not going to be 4 going into the next round, and we'll see with my transfers now. And then on the other side, I'm actually looking pretty thin on this side, which is a good thing, but also a bad thing, because that's probably the side we're going to get the gain out of, right? So PSG Barca, I mean, Mbappe or nothing really, but pretty much everybody has him, so that's him out of the equation. And then players like Hakimi, who probably were the second most popular option, suspended, so that's another unlucky. Now, the fact that PSG are home, Barca, I mean, Xavi said he's leaving Barca and all of a sudden they've turned into prime Barca again, literally winning every game, not conceding. So that one's a very tough one to say what's going to happen. And then same with Atletico Dortmund. The odds checkers or whatever they are, the bookies, go in for Atletico win and Atletico to progress. And to be fair, I'm pretty sure they haven't lost like a Champions League home game in something stupid like 5-6 years or something like that. So, you know, that could be a bad one for Dortmund, but looking at both of their teams, both of them have some key players missing. Both of them they're just not it, are they? They're still good, don't get me wrong. One of them could go on, you know, somehow get all the way to the final, but, you know, that's not going to happen. But I actually think that one is the spicy one for the Champions League fantasy, because I think that is the big one for the upside of the points. So as you see with my transfer plans, we will get to that. But first I want to say, whatever you do, whatever transfers you are planning, do not make them until just before the deadline. Because, as you know, with Champions League fantasy, we get the lineups before the deadline. The deadline is of kickoff, so we get, you know, over an hour of just chilling and having a little browse of our teams. But the fact that half the games are before the deadline, you will know half of the starting lineups in the entire match day before you need to lock in your transfers. So if that isn't selling it for you to wait, then I don't know what will. So with that being said, any plans are just plans and they're not like I will do them, because all of a sudden, you know, Bellingham's benched, Ederson's starting up front, and it's like, wait, hang on, I need to prepare for this. I'm not ready. So, I mean, I think out of the players I have, all of them will start, apart from the ones that are injured, suspended, or knocked out, but we'll get to them. And then the only other ones we have concerns about are, we have 2 small injury doubts, which are Zaire Emery, who had a little knock. He's a bit more annoying because he plays in the games Wednesday, so I can't really wait to see if he's starting. But Ederson, we can wait to see if he's starting. I mean, even if he is starting, I probably will transfer him out because he's an absolute Ederson. He is literally the worst fantasy goalkeeper ever. He literally makes me mad. But yeah, so if you have a look at the players I actually have out, we have Sommer, who's eliminated, so he's going to be eliminated from my squad. Di Lorenzo, eliminated. Hakimi is suspended. Now, if I already had 5 other players that are eliminated, then I probably would keep him because, you know, I guaranteed I got him for the next leg, right? But I don't, so let's get rid of him. And then Ake is injured and won't be back. So that is 4 players I need to get rid of. And then I'm going to show you what my plan is. But if for whatever reason Ederson is starting and Zaire Emery is confirmed not going to travel or be in the squad, then I might as well keep Ederson and get a midfielder in instead, right? But for now, my transfer plans are this. So, in goals, we have goalkeepers that are expensive, but goalkeepers that could score all the points. Oblak, he's been scoring all the points, and he's got, you know, the home fixture first, and the bookies think he's going through. So, realistically, statistically speaking, he would be the one to go for. So that is exactly why I'm not going for him. Because I'm going to go for Lunin. Now, most other people already have Lunin, and I'm a cheeky scrub who didn't get him. And to be fair, he's been getting big boy hauls when he does play. But I think the main reason I want to go for him is, 1, he's cheap. That's it. No, 1, he's cheap. 4.7 million to be specific. Secondly, he's playing at home in the first game. So I think on paper, one of the, I don't want to say easy, it's literally playing Man City. One of the better potentials of a clean sheet just for the fact he's playing at home compared to, you know, away keepers. Yeah. But also, because he's playing first and he's playing Man City, if he does somehow keep a clean sheet, even if he doesn't keep a clean sheet, he could be making 6, 7, 8, 9 saves and could be saving us and everybody else by scoring all the points, right? He could go and concede 2 goals, still make 6 saves, and all of a sudden he's got player of the match. He's still got like a 7 or 8 point haul. And the fact that he's first, he's playing in the first game day, match day, within the match day. And then if he doesn't get all the points, then we can sub him out for the goalkeeper playing in the other bracket, side of the bracket. Then there you go. So that is my strategy there. Lunin in. Even if Ederson isn't injured, I probably will do it because, you know, I mean, that probably will bite me back on the ass next week or next match day round because, you know, if Man City knock out Real Madrid, then I'm like, hey, I've just made a transfer for nothing. But hopefully, even though he does get out, even if he did get eliminated, he probably will still outscore Ederson because Ederson can't even save a bloody PDF document. He's that bad, isn't he? Second goalkeeper, we obviously have to go for the other side of the bracket. So if I go back here, so obviously because you want one player, one goalkeeper playing on Tuesday, one on Wednesday, we have to go for one of these keepers instead. PSG, Barca, I mean, Donnarumma, ter Stegen, very good goalkeepers, but I think both of those legs are going to see goals, so I don't really want to go for one of them. And also they are expensive, so yeah, I'm not too sure about that. And then apart from that then, we've got All Black, who I already said I don't really fancy, so I wonder who I'm going to go for. Or Corbell. Now, Corbell, not only is he one of the other cheaper starting ones, and, you know, that doesn't really make a difference at this point because we haven't even really got that much of a budget to spend anyway. He's also scored the most points out of any other goalkeepers this season, which isn't bad considering he missed a bloody entire game. Because, to be fair, you know, apart from playing PSG, he has scored over 7 points a game. Not bad at all, making all of the saves. But I think the fact that he's playing away, and the fact that then he has a home game next week, it kind of gives me the balance of this week, Lunin has the highest ceiling. If he goes and gets a clean sheet and all the saves, he's going to get all the points. If not, I bring in Corbell now, who could also have another high ceiling. And then next week is the reverse. Corbell is the one at home. Corbell is the one at home that could, you know, get a safety clean sheet. And then next week again, Lunin is like the high ceiling again. So it's like the same but reverse, but the reverse but same. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably not making sense. I'm making sense to me. So that is why I'm going for them. And also, they're cheaper than the other goalkeepers, which more importantly allows me to get in players that I actually care about up the field. Because why am I spending 10 minutes discussing goalkeepers? I don't bloody know, but there we are. Now, defenders. Well, obviously, I've only got 5 transfers. And with the players that I've got out, I am literally spending all my transfers on goalkeepers and defenders. So that's why I'm chinwhacking about it more, right? But also, if we quick side note, my forwards, if we actually look at the forwards, I have the 3 most selected forwards, and the next selected one is Vinicius, who one I probably wouldn't want because he's playing Man City, but also he's 1 yellow card away from a suspension, so I don't know about that. And then all the other geezers, yeah, you know, they could get a random goal or 2, but it's these 3 or nothing, in my opinion. Midfielders-wise, it's not quite the same. I've got the 2 most popular, and then a Foden and some others in here. But then the other most selected options, Rodri, Kimmich. I mean, Rodri has been scoring all the goals, but not traditionally a goal scorer, right? We do have Odegaard in there, Musiala, you know, good attacking players, but then they're playing against each other. So realistically, I'm not missing any key midfielders or forwards. Definitely not ones that are worth considering a hit for, but definitely not even ones considering using my transfers right now. So forwards and midfielders wise, I think I'm happy with the way it is. And then next week, well, next match day, second leg, when we have those 3 extra transfers, then I could consider swapping some of those out or optimizing my team maybe for that leg, maybe for the semi-final, but we'll see. But before that, this first leg, get my leg out, all the points, right? So if we go to the defenders, the most popular defender is João Cancelo. I don't have João Cancelo. Sounds simple to me. Get him in. Now, this is another discussion point full of chinwag today, aren't we? I'm 200th in the world. Was it 200th? I can't remember. 268th. Just to rub my ego again, because why not? I'm not going to be this high again. If I go for just the most selected players and no differentials, I'm realistically not going to get better, right? Because everybody around me has the same team. So where's the gain, right? But also, it's the other way, right? If I don't get in the highest selected options and I just choose differentials, all it takes is one or two of those most selected players to haul, and all of a sudden, all of my ranks down. It doesn't matter if the differentials score points or not, and that's that. But then also, the only thing that matters is scoring the most points. So realistically, you shouldn't just go for ownership, but it is still, it's still there. It's still a thought. It is still a thing to consider, because I don't really have differentials in my team, and the fact that my main differentials are going to be my defenders says it all, really, because that's that, yeah. But also, differential defenders also sometimes doesn't even make sense, because, a Saliba could be owned more than a Gabriel, but they both keep a clean sheet, they both get points, so they're not really differential points or whatever, unless they get the attacking returns, which is why players like Cancelo and Ian Maatson could be the ones to go for. So, with that being said, again, chinwagging about nothing really. João Cancelo, the fact that he's that highly owned and the fact that he can score big boy points, yes, it's not the most favourable fixture, but I don't currently have any Barcelona players, and if I do want one, why not have the most attacking defender that could contribute from points on both sides of the pitch, and also give me that cover if for whatever reason PSG decide to not turn up. Mbappe is bloody still chilling in Paris and not playing. I mean, he should be chilling in Paris. They're playing at home. But yeah, I think with the Hakimi out as well, I'm transferring them out. I'm going from 3 PSG to 2 and 1 Barca. Good balance. No matter what happens there, I've got at least a player going into the next round. I mean, if I just use that, strategy, I might only have 4 players going into the next round, which wouldn't be good, but, let me be. But yeah, apart from that then, we have 2 more transfers to make with 10.8 million. Now, we do have fixtures that are just not good for defenders. Arsenal, Bayern, I mean, even though Bayern have been shite, to put it politely, they do still score goals. They still have Harry Kane! And it is against Arsenal, so you just know he's going to score against them. Even though Arsenal defence has been elite this season, yeah, I don't really trust them to keep a clean sheet. And the fact they've already got Saliba, probably don't want to double up on their defence. But then again, they are playing at home, so, you could go for it in the first match day, the Tuesday, and then sub them out. And then also, they're one of the favourites to go through, so maybe I'm convincing myself here. But also, no, I've already got cover there. I think that's all good. Real Madrid, Man City, sack that off for defenders, because no chance there. That's going to be like a 5-all both legs. But then again, somebody like Gavardiol could go and score brace, because why not? PSG, Barca, like I said, if I get in a Cancelo, at least I've got cover there. I won't have PSG defence, but their defence isn't great, and Barca do score goals. And if anything, if you had to choose one of the defences out of them teams, it would be Barca. They do keep more clean sheets, or they do it in the league at least. So Cancelo would be the guy there. Now, Atletico Dortmund. Is there a reason I've paused here? I've already got 1 defender in that game. Is that enough? Maybe. Maybe not. Now, if we went to the Atletico defenders, we have one boy right here who scores all the points. Molina. Now, look at this. 6-6-7-7. I'm not even sure he's had any attacking returns in there. He's had 1 assist. But he just gets all the ball recoveries, and he's a wing-back. So he has that potential of clean sheet, attacking, and ball recoveries. And he's playing at home in the first leg, where he will be the second game, and then next week, the other way around, and we can swap him there. So even though he is expensive, he has already proved he can score the points, and it gives me an Atletico cover, which I don't have. So, perfect, right? Amazing. So, I'm not even going to chinwag about him anymore. That's that. Now, for the final place, we do only have 4.7 million, which may get me on GoFundMe, because what am I affording with this? Now, of the highest selected players here, we got Who the hell is... Who the fuck is this guy? I don't know who that is. Well, I mean, yeah. We then have players like Lucas Vasquez, Eric Dyer, Azpilicueta. I mean, what is this? The Premier League retirement home? Like, no, go away. So, realistically, we don't really have the best players to choose from. But thankfully, we do have a couple. And those couples are not only good in their own right, but they're actually differentials. Again, differential defenders might not mean anything, but differential defenders at least. Now, one of those options is Lucas Beraldo. Now, not only is he a starting defender for the PSG, and he can get the points, as he's proven as well, but he is only 4.5 million, and also, like I said, covers me with that PSG clean sheet, because you never know. Sometimes Barca don't score. Sometimes they try and be passing merchants and just pass and don't shoot. So with that being said, could a PSG defender be the one to go for? But then I'm running the risk of, if Barca do knock them out, then that's 3 players out already. And yeah, it's not great, is it? Now, if I didn't go for him, the only other one I am currently seeing, or the only one that I would actually consider, I mean, sure, there's other ones that I could get, but I don't know, is... where's he gone? Wait. Hello? Is he... Oh, wait, was he... Eh? Am I just blind? Oh, no, wait. Oh, the filters are just messing up. No, he's not there, is he? Am I blind? Dortmund, 4.7 mil. But if I change it to 5, he's then there, even though he's only 4.6 mil. Brain is really not braining. Anyway... See, you can tell I'm a software developer finding bugs in the code. The only other differential defender that could be worth it also is Reyerson. Now, he can score big as well. He has the attacking potential. He is only 1% selected. He has scored points, which he's proven. But then this then goes back to the other thing of now I have 2 Dortmund defenders and 3 defensive Dortmund players with Kobel in goals. And if Atletico Madrid knock them out, then I've, again, got 3 players knocked out. And also, that one might be worse because I'm going for 3 players from a defence, which realistically isn't that great. And they're not the favourites in their leg. So I'm like, I don't know. But also, that might keep them a differential in the fantasy game and might make them worth it. So, So realistically, plan. Let's have a little recap because I've been chinwagging for 30 minutes and probably said nothing. Goals. Lunin, Kobel, I think they have the highest ceiling, the highest upside, and again, one plays on the Tuesday, one plays on the Wednesday, and next week, I think it's the other way around, so there you go. And then in defence, we have an attacking João Cancelo, gives me the Barca cover. We have an attacking Molina, gives me Atletico cover, and not only that, they're good in their own rights. I'm not getting them just for cover, they are still good enough. And then finally, in the 5th and final transfer, I can do whatever I want with 4.7 million, which isn't bloody a lot these days. You know, cost of living's going up. I can probably afford only about 3 Fredos with that. But we do still have some sexy differentials, like a Reyerson, like a Beraldo, or whatever his name was. That could, maybe an Eric Dyer if he starts. Maybe not. But yeah, we could. I mean, to be fair, what are the Arsenal defenders even cost? Yeah, maybe not then. Maybe not. Keyword like Zinchenko 5.2. Nah, see, none of them I can afford. So yeah, essentially it's yeah, there are other starting defenders for other teams, but out of those guys, maybe a Real Madrid defender will just pop up that is randomly starting, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, maybe that'll be good for some cover. But either way, that is probably the plan. But again, the plan will wait until the lineups are actually released for the first game, and then I'll just reassess after that. So that is that, and that is my plan to win Champions League Fantasy. Have I convinced you with all this 30 minutes of talking that I'm going to win it? No. Am I still going to do it anyway? No. Am I still going to try? No. I mean, yeah. But yeah, that's going to be all. Thanks for watching. When it does end up not turning out well because I'm playing it too safe and I should have actually just gone for it, then I'll just do a big boy unlucky. But that is what I'm going for now. So thanks for watching. And also, remember.
Don't be a cheeky scrub. Subscribe to Nathan Bacon right now. Don't let your memes be dreams.